Hey guys, I decided to do a Storytime Sunday installment called The Beauty of Broken Glass. The story starts with s- someone named Travis. Now, Travis is part Aboriginal, part Caucasian. Um, his father was from an Aboriginal tribe, and his mother was um, a Caucasian lady from Toronto. His mother, when she was about 17, she went with her class to to visit um, a kind of a native Indian reservation just outside of Toronto, and she met his father there, and they fell in love. And his mother's family was totally against the relationship because of the culture. They thought the culture was strange, and they just didn't want their daughter to get involved in that. But she's like, no, I love him. And so they 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 for they forsook all of their both their families and said, uh, you know what, I love you, we're doing this. So against both their families' wishes, they got married and had Travis. So growing up, um, his mother found the Aboriginal culture, the tribal dances, and everything about the Aboriginal culture so interesting. So, and and of course, his father was Aborigine too. So they immersed him in that culture, from everything to the from the traditional dances to the clothing to everything. And they made their home on a reservation with his people because his mother thought the culture was so interesting and her culture was so boring that she wanted him to be steeped in the Aboriginal culture. So he uh, grew up Aboriginal, but there was there was a the, one day someone was bused um, from out of town. One day when Travis was a teenager, somebody was bused from out of town from another school district. Um, and that person was into pop music, soul music, and Travis had never heard this kind of music before. He never heard this kind of music before. So he this boy his own age, he was about 14 at the time, loved music, and one day, because none of the other Aboriginal kids would talk to him because they were they thought he was strange, and they just didn't know how to relate with him. So he was sitting by himself. And Travis um, heard him. Travis went and sat beside him. And then they became friends. And one day his friend had a, um, had a, had a, had an iPad and was listening to uh, s- some old school Luther Vandross. He was listening to Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. And um, Travis says, "What's that? Who's that?" And so the boy gave him his headphones. And when Travis heard Luther's voice, he was so amazed. He was like, "Wow, that is so cool." When he heard the beats of Never Too Much and everything like that, it was so cool. So from that day forward, um, the guy, the boy from the other district started to share more music, started to share like Teddy Pendergrass and all the old soul music like Stevie Wonder and all this soul music and and um, some pop music as well, like everything from New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys to One Direction to Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. So that boy opened up a whole world for Travis. And one day he was like, he didn't know he could sing until this. And one day he was listening to a radio and he was singing like he was singing. He was just singing because he just thought he'd try. Up until this point, he didn't know he could sing. All he knew of music was tribal music, because that's what he'd grown up around, right? So, that's what he'd grown up around. So that's what he knew, and so he was listening to uh, the iPad and just wanted to try and sing. So when he opened up his mouth, his friend who was standing beside him said, "Whoa, man, like this beautiful sound, these beautiful notes um, came out of him." And and the his friend said, "Whoa, man, you can really sing." And Travis said, "Really? You think I can?" And and the boy said, "Yes, you can." And so when the boy said that, that unlocks something in Travis. He started singing everywhere and mimicking people from the radio and even singing some of the female singers' songs like Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, I Will Always Love You, and Tony Braxton, Love Should Have Brought You Home, and things like Sam Cooke, Change Gonna Come, like this whole new style of music that he loved. And he could really sing. But one day, his father and mother heard him singing. And because they were so against Western culture, because they were so against him getting into anything of Western culture, because Western culture kind of shunned her and their relationship. Um, he, his mother and father were like, "We don't want to hear you singing that kind of music again. We want to um, keep you singing our people's music, and we want to keep you steeped in our traditions. Those traditions are lawless and whatever." So ever since from that day forward, Travis, uh, for the rest of his teens, hid his musical talent. He would sing, but he would hide it. And what happened was when Travis was 18, he snuck with his friend and he snuck to a talent competition with his friend, and he won the talent competition. And the prize for the talent competition was um, to get to record a demo with. Hi. Okay, thank you. And the toilet was fixed. Bye. S- Sorry. He snuck with a friend. He's he snuck with a friend and won the competition. And then when he won the competition, the prize for the competition was to record a single with the producer, with a famous producer. Um, so he recorded, there was a song he wrote with a famous producer. And there was a song he wrote with a famous producer, and the song made it big. He was just thinking of um, being from a small town. He was thinking of his life and not being able to, being half white and half Aborigine, and not being able to experience uh, the the Caucasian side of his culture. And because all like and because his mother thought that even though she was Caucasian, she thought that part of his culture was lawless, and he, and she wanted him to really be steeped in the Aboriginal culture. And the song was about, he says, "I'm both, and I want to experience both." And um, So they put the song, they recorded, they the producer heard the song and was so moved by it. He put it on YouTube and put it on all kinds of social media, and it got so much traction, like millions of views, like 2 million views within the first 2 hours, and it kept climbing and climbing and climbing. He he his video singing the song just on his old guitar um went viral, because he didn't play the guitar, but the producer said, this is going viral, why don't we record this? So when they recorded it, it got several views, several million more views than the audio version got. And then because he was 18, he said he really wanted to tour, and he really wanted to make this music thing work. So the single, he started touring with these people. He was about 19 at the time, and he got introduced to his manager, and his manager was very into uh, the music industry, very into the image of the music industry, made him change his image, did all of that. And when he was about 20, um, he went to his record company had a holiday party, had had a record exec party, and unbeknownst to him, his manager and agent contrived to have him meet a starlet, um, a pop star too, because they wanted publicity. So at this party, he met this girl, and she was really she was really rude and really not very nice. But he thought, if this is gonna make me climb the charts even more, I can date her a bit. And then, anyway, he started dating her, and their first date, uh, they they took pictures for Instagram. It was all social media contrived. So they would, the record company thought it would be so great if they were to live stream their dates, and so they did that. So um and her name was Trish. So they live streamed Travis and Trish their first dates. And then when they live streamed their first dates, um, their both of their singles began climbing even more than before. Now, she was like uh, a a pop, a Taylor Swift pop version princess, and he was, like I said, a mixture between Aborigine and white. So the world saw this glamour couple, and they really loved that they were together, and they really um, loved uh, that their names sounded good together, like Travis and Trish. Travis and Trish. So, um, so they were live streaming all their dates, and you couldn't go anywhere without seeing them on social media, what they were doing, y- you know. And um, when they were about 25, uh, Trisha, Trisha and Travis managers had a kind of a meeting. They said, well, we think you should get married now. And Travis said, what? You think we should get married? What are you talking about? He says, well, you and Trish have been going out for a long time, and we think you should get married. You've been going out for 3 years, and the social media comments is like, when's the wedding? When are you getting married? And we think it would be great for your image. And Travis is like, I don't know. Think about it. It would be great for your image. It would be great for Trisha's image. He said, she said, listen, the world wants to see you guys happy. Might as well you give them what they want. So, um, so, um, at a concert, uh, tr- on their like 3 year anniversary, um, Trish, Travis calls Trish up, and it's like this big proposal deal, and she says yes, and she shows the ring off, and it's on Instagram and social media the next day. And you think they were visible before, but after the engagement, they are still, they are even more visible now. And planning the wedding was a nightmare. It was so grandiose and so big, and the two of them got caught up in it all. And they just got caught up in it all. And so, and after this big grandiose wedding that everybody knew about, and it was actually streamed on social media, um, they, they settled into married life. Now, when they first settled into married life, um, they were kind of friends. But as her popularity grew and his grew, they just began fighting. And she began spending a lot of money. Uh, she began spending a lot of money, and he got frustrated because his single wasn't doing well, and this marriage was supposed to benefit both, but it's just benefiting her, not him. And and she just um they just weren't getting along well. And like as far as their sex life, um they said it was agreed upon with their managers and them that they wouldn't have sex until they got married. It was this whole true love waits thing. They had people sign a contract and bring forth their purity stories. It was called the Purity Pledge. They had all these people sign. Yes, we're pledging purity with Travis and Trish, but it was all a media stunt. But while they were dating, they had an excuse not to have sex. But when they got married, it was this whole thing. And, um, uh, he did everything to try and please her in the bedroom and out. But like I said before, she just couldn't be pleased. And it got so bad in the bedroom. She One night she bought um uh after one failed attempt, uh she she bought she went in the bathroom and bought, brought out her vibrator. Now there he is as her husband, and she has a vibrator, and he's just sitting there. Now she used to go into the bathroom and do her business, but it got to the point where uh, she just did she didn't even bother hiding it. Um, she would roll off of him, uh, and then just take out her vibrator beside him and then do her business right there beside her husband. And it's like she didn't care about him anymore. The feelings were any friendship feelings that they had were totally gone. And she would embarrass him by calling him uh, not like they were at like a uh, Grammy party or something like that, and um, she was she she made um, a tasteless joke about uh, him being nubs, saying saying that he was too small uh, to please her or some kind of tasteless joke like that. and he just because every time she would emasculate him, he would just um go into himself and into himself. And um he he was looking at one day he was looking at a celebrity couple who just had a baby, and they were smiling and whatever. And he said, maybe, maybe that's maybe that's a solution for us. Maybe we should have a baby, and it will, if not bring us closer together, it will at least give me someone who loves me. So he brought it up to Trish, and at first Trish said no, and no, I don't want to get fat. Um, I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to get fat. But her managers had a meeting, and his managers had a meeting, and they agreed that yes, they would try to have a baby. Um, but but when but but about uh but Trish and Travis, every time they tried to have sex, it was just awkward and uncomfortable. And one day, about like 6 months into trying, he finds no, one day about a year into trying, he finds a pregnancy test in the in the in the garbage. So he says, "Oh, baby, you're pregnant. I'm so happy. This could be a new beginning for us." And she says, "I'm not pregnant." It's like, "What do you mean? I found the pregnancy test." He's like, "Well," she's like, "Well, I was pregnant, but I'm not pregnant anymore. I had an abortion." He's like, "What? You had an abortion without talking to me, without telling me?" He's like, "I thought we agreed to have a baby." It's like, she's like, "No, that's just something I told the managers. You really think I would have a baby with you?" My, he said, she says, "My finger means means a lot to me. I can't have a baby with this figure. It's gonna mess it up." And he's like, "You know what? I can't do this anymore. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried." It's like everything in this marriage was supposed to benefit both of us. We were supposed to climb higher. We were supposed to do this together, even though we weren't in love. But it seems like this marriage is only benefiting you. He's like, "I'm done." And he walks out, slams the door, and um, he he goes on a tour because he's trying to pick his career up um, by himself. And his manager said, "Well, maybe you should go on tour." So he went on tour, and then seeing all the happy couples in the crowd, he wanted to try and work it out with his wife and see if they can really give it a try. So when he got home, that he was watching late night TV and saw Trish on a late night TV saying, and the late night host said, "Oh, where's your husband tonight?" She's like, "Oh, Travis and I are not together. I finally found the love of my life." And the late night host said, "Oh, really? Who's that?" And the host said, "Honey, come out." And the love of her life was her female makeup artist, and she she ended up kissing her female makeup makeup artist Chelsea. Is and the 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 guy said, "Oh," and everyone was like, "Whoa!" And now he knew that it was really over because not only did um, he have a big fight and leave Chelsea, but she found someone else who can make her happy. So after the divorce, it was so contentious. Every day there was something going on with that divorce, and um, it it became so contentious that like he was like, you know what, take it all, because everything that he wanted, she would fight. She would say she didn't want that thing, and she said, "Oh, but when he said he wanted it, she wanted it more, and she would cry until he gave in." And at the end, she said, "You know what? I am just okay." At the end, he said, "You know what?" Travis said, "You know what, to Trish? Take it all. I don't want any of it. You can take the house, you can take the cars, you can take it all." Um, and the lawyer said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And he said, "Yeah, she can take it all." And he went back home to the reservation because he was so broken and so used up, and it was an awful, contentious divorce, and it was just awful. So he went home to the reservation, and um, he stayed home for a while and immersed himself in his culture. But eventually, music started to call to him again. But he figured that this time it didn't have to be either or. He could he could mix his soul pop influences with his Aborigine culture. And so that's what he decided to do. So he decided to record another YouTube video, but this time, instead instead of being a completely Western song, he infused his cultural rhythms and music with Western music, and he came up with something awesome. And um, and then he put it on YouTube, not really expecting anything, because you know how contentious the divorce was, and how everything was totally up in the air, and how she took everything, and she went on every talk show, bad mouthing him and telling lies about him, whatever. So so he didn't expect anything, but his his video got so many positive views, and over 3 million views in like 3 hours, which is more than his initial Western song got back in the day. And he was about 35 right. And so the people, some people were calling him to do a show. There was a little ice cream shop in the um not too far from his area. There was
Call from unknown name. Call from unknown name.
hello.
Yeah, I read that.
We already prayed, Mom.
Oh, we already prayed. I'm glad you have a good memory. Thank you so much, darling.
Bye, Mom. Bye.
Are you gonna eat supper now?
Mom, I don't have time. I can't do this now.
Okay. Love you, baby. God bless you. Bye.
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 So this little ice cream shop that was struggling uh, saw his video and saw the views that he was getting, but big promoters were just so, they were kind of gun shy because of what happened in his very public marriage. Um, so this little ice cream shop that really um, needed a boost decided to hold a concert because they saw his video, and they said maybe this guy will be the answer to what we need. So they meet with him, and then th- this the ice cream shop is owned by, it's called Scoops of Love, and the ice cream shop is owned by a black man and a white woman who are married. And when he goes for his meeting of this couple, he meets their granddaughter. And when he meets their granddaughter, Reese, he is just so stunned by her. She's got caramel skin, uh, dark eyes. She's beautiful. And what happens is he falls in love with her. He's like, even if this concert doesn't work out, I really want to get to know her. So he talks to this couple, and they are so wonderful and wise to him, and they help him get the sound going and all of that going, and and they help him set up the sound, and they talk about the set and what he would need to put on a show. And he agrees to do it for free because he needs to get his career up and going after his ex-wife tore it down and after the publicity of the wedding and their marriage and the breakdown. He said he'd do it for free. And so they have the show. It's a huge success. People are lined up outside the door to see what's happening. So it's a huge success. And after the show, him and the him and the granddaughter get to talking, and and he invites her uh, to a local fair uh, that's going on. And on the day of the fair, he goes to pick her up, and um, he gets there, and while she's getting ready, her grandparents tell um, their love story. Their grand her her grand both her mother and father met in law school when they argued over an issue, and from the first day her mother and father met, um, they would argue about every issue, whatever issue there was to argue about, they would argue about it. And but that argumentative thing turned into, okay, if I'm right about this issue, you're going on a date with me. So it turned out her father was right about the the specific issue. So her mother went on a date with him, and they began to fall in love. And then after law school, they got married. And then when they got married, um, uh, her mother got pregnant really quickly. And then because her mother really liked Reese Witherspoon as an actress. And when her mother was watching Legally Blonde, because she'd already graduated from law school, but she didn't, they either didn't know what they wanted to do with their law degree. So, um, so when her mother was watching Legally Blonde, the baby jumped in her stomach. So that's how she got her name, Reese, for Reese Witherspoon. So, and then, so her mother and father opened a practice. Her father was a big black man, and her mother was a little Caucasian lady, and and they were a dream team. No one could defeat them. But there was one time where they had a defendant that they sent to jail, And the defendant said, "Don't worry, I'll be back. You better watch your back." So um they didn't take him seriously enough because they've gotten threats before. They're lawyers. But on the next about about 5 years later, they had moved on with their lives. They had Reese and everything. And when they were in court defending someone else totally, the 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 defendant that had threatened them came in with a gun and shot them both, killed them both instantly. Um, and when he killed them both when he killed both of Reese's parents instantly, her grandparents took her in. Her mother's mother and her dad's dad. And when her grandparents took her in, they slowly, because they were both single, because both their spouses had died. So, and they were both single, so they eventually fell in love with each other because both their children were gone and they had a granddaughter to raise. So they decided to open up an ice cream shop because her grandmother was really good at making ice cream. Because after her daughter had died, she needed something to put her grief into, so it was her ice cream. So she spent time learning how to make ice cream, learning how to combine different flavors, and people loved her flavors that she was combining, loved the love that she put into the ice cream. And her father's father, was good at business, so he handled the business side and she handled the ice cream side. But the ice cream shop was doing really well, but now it had really went through a downturn. So that's when they saw Travis's video and invited Travis to sing. And like I said before, um, the it had really been a good thing. Uh, the concert was good, and so when they went to the fair, she Reese told her Reese told Travis about her story about her parents, and from that day on, they 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 just fell in love with each other, and they just it was something so special. And then eventually they got married. So, you know, sometimes when you come from a bad marriage and you get married again, like some of the issues begin to resurface. So that's what happened uh, to Travis. Some of his issues from his first marriage began to resurface. Um, he began to get very suspicious of her and in regards to money, question her all the time. And when it came to sex, to their sex life. Travis and Reese's sex life as a married couple. He, every time he would try to make love to his new wife, he would hear all those old voices from his old wife about how he couldn't please her, about how uh, he was just nothing in the bedroom, and how he was numbed because his penis was so short. He would hear all this, and every time he would try to make love to his wife, he couldn't. He would either push her off and make some excuse um, to not make love to her, and she thought it was her. But she's like, honey, you need help. I just want to help you. What's going on? And he wouldn't open up to her. He just said nothing. And then um, like, it, there became a time where um, they just, he, she's like, I can't do this anymore. And she left. Not because she didn't love him, but because he was so hurt and so broken, and he didn't let those first scars from Trish heal. He just didn't. He just swept it under the rug. But now it's appearing in his second marriage because he didn't let it heal from his first marriage. And then he but um and after Trish left, he saw what he saw a picture of Chelsea and her new partner, because Trish and Chelsea had broken up, and a voice said to him, "You need to go back and deal with the root of the problem that you didn't deal with." So, so he went to see Chelsea to find out what happened with them and to just put the put the piece put the broken pieces together. And Chelsea told him about what happened. And okay, so Chelsea told him that Trish, um, Trish told her when they were, um, when Chelsea first met Trish, uh, Chelsea thought she was straight, so she didn't have it. Chelsea thought that Trish was straight, and she didn't have a chance. But and she, but regardless of that, she still liked her. And Trish knew that Chelsea was a lesbian. And then, so one day, they were doing each other. Uh, Chelsea was doing Trish's makeup, and then something happened, and they kissed. And and Trish said, I I'd always thought I was straight, but there's something about you that I'm attracted to you. So they started dating, and Ch- what Trish told Chelsea was that she want Trish told Chelsea that she wanted to have a baby, and he didn't. And when Trish got pregnant, um, Travis wanted her to have an abortion, and then when she did have the abortion, Travis left her, which was a lie. Um, Trish, uh, Chelsea found out later, but at the time, Chelsea, of course, believed her, and that whole late night show kiss was Trish's idea, because Trish said her first marriage was so public, but it wasn't true love, and she wanted, because this one was true love, she wanted it to be even more public. And Chelsea agreed because she loved her, right? So, but they dated for 2 years, and things were all right in the beginning, but slowly throughout time, Chelsea began to see red flags, like her thing with money, uh, her thing with like competing with other pop stars and singles, and her thing with the bedroom. She made Chelsea, Trish made Chelsea feel as worthless in the bedroom as she made Travis. And Chelsea said to Travis, you know what? She's an equal opportunity user. She doesn't care if you're male, female, or whatever. He says, I don't even know uh, what orientation she is. I don't know if she's gay, straight, or whatever. He says, but one thing I know, she's an op- she's an equal opportunity user. She doesn't care if you're male, female. If she can use you, she will. If she can manipulate you, she will. She's like Chelsea. Chelsea's like um, one day, and Travis says, how did you know that it was over? And Chelsea said, one day it was our anniversary. We've been together for 2 years. I've been trying and trying and trying and to make the relationship work, and she wasn't budging. But I thought I'd give it one more try. So what I did was cooked a nice dinner, and I told her when she left that morning to be back by 7. And she said, okay. And then 7 came, no Trish. 7:30 came, no Trish. 8 came, no Trish. 8:30, no Trish. 11 o'clock that night, she came home with a with another guy and another girl. And I said, what the hell are you are you doing home so late? What the hell are you doing? What's going on? She says, oh, I'm leaving you. It says, oh, I'm leaving you. She's like, oh, it's been fun. I'm so sorry, but I'm leaving you. And no, it it wasn't 11. It was about 9. And there was a guy and a girl, and she just left. She just went upstairs, packed a few clothes, left with a guy and a girl, and that was it. And Chelsea was holding a wine glass, and when she drank the wine, she smashed it against the door, and the wine shattered in pieces. And then when she was sweeping up the pieces of the wine, because the lights were on, so she saw, because the sun was setting, so because it was summer, so the sun was setting, and um the light shone through the window, um and then as she looked at the broken glass on the floor, um she began Chelsea began to see the light shining through the shards of glass, and she began to say, there is beauty in brokenness if you let the light shine through. And from that day on, she went on with her life. She met her partner, and now she has a happy life. And she told Travis not to let Trish have a hold of him. Embrace his wife and make it right with his wife. Don't let the crappy things Trish did keep him from making things right with his wife. And then when Travis went home one night, he knew how he was gonna win Reese back. So the next day after coming from Chelsea's, he said he signed up for a glass making class. So he signed up for months to learn how to make glass. Uh, he he went to all kinds of classes. He read all kinds of books, and when he was ready, he made his first glass bird with a broken wing, and said, and he carved in into it a note that said, um, "We might be, we might have our marriage might have a broken wing right now, but eventually we'll fly again." And he put it in a box and mailed it to her. And he the next day he he mailed something else. He would mail beautiful glass animals with something broken. Like he did a he did a squirrel with a broken tail. He did an elephant with a broken trunk, and each of the broken glass, beautiful glass figurines would have a message carved into it. Like the elephant said, we might be going through something big right now, but I'm here to celebrate you. And the broken trunk um, was up in the air me- to signify the elephant's celebration. All these beautiful figurines with brokenness came to came to um, came to Reese's house every day. And at first, she was very resistant. She left them there. But her mother said, at least he's trying. And look, he's using the fact that he's broken. He knows he's broken. And he's admitting it and trying to get help for it. And he's learned how to make glass for you. And eventually, those figurines with those messages won him back because she understood that he's broken, and but there was beauty to come out of his brokenness, and that those broken glass figurines actually gave was the symbolism to give hope to their marriage, because even in brokenness light can shine through. Thank you for joining me. I know this story is long and filled with all kinds of interruptions, but I hope you get it, and I hope it blessed you. And to see the beauty in your brokenness, whether it be in marriage, in singleness, in everything. God can use every broken piece of your life to make it beautiful. God can let the light shine through it, just like He did on the figurines that Travis made for Reese. God specializes in shining the light in your brokenness. If you're able to see it, it's not will He do it. It's will you be able to receive it. Thank you guys so much. Bye. Here we go, guys. Bye. See you later.